I go through every single secret and tip that I know of so that you can get every drip of maze coin possible in the game. So thank you to AK from MLG Guides for posting a lot of this information. Make sure to watch the full video so you know exactly how many maze coins you also need for this new ULLRICA maze. And before we get stuck in today's video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button so you can grow in Monsterwood gems, Stardust, Diamond Relics, Race Monsters, Legendary Wars, and more. Welcome to Wubby Gaming, the place where gamers grow. So there's been a few changes in Monster Legends world recently. So we're going to have a look at what those changes mean for you. So let's get started. If you want to know how many collections per day you need to do based on the number of Monsterwood videos you're able to watch, then make sure you watch the end of the video because I'll go through a whole bunch of different scenarios. For now, I'm going to go through what I think is a fairly common and realistic scenario for most people. So these are the costs with discounts for ULLRICA at rank 0. So at 0%, you need 5,105 maze coins. If you get the 10% discount, 4,605. 20%, 4,084 maze coins. If there is a 30% discount, say for example at 1 day 18 hours, then you need a total of 3,584 coins at that point in time. So the scenario that I've got here is you're able to do 4 collections a day, which I think is easily doable if you're active, and 2 full sets of Monsterwood videos. So right now there are 2 full sets of Monsterwood videos available. So if you do have access to Monsterwood, there's no reason why you can't do 2 full sets. So if you do 2 full sets of Monsterwood videos, you will get 1,200 coins from that. And if you do 4 maze collections each day, you will get about 3,500 coins just from that. So in total, 2 sets of Monsterwood videos plus 4 collections a day will get you about 4,763 maze coins. So looking at that, 4,700, if there is a 10% discount, then you will be perfectly fine. So if you are doing 4 sets of collections and only 2 sets of Monsterwood videos, my recommendation is to move during this 10% just in case there is no further discount. That's probably the safest option for you. So the first change you want to get onto right now is that there are more maze coins and there are more Monsterwood videos. So Social Point is saying that there are new blocks of 30. So instead of 20 videos, there are 30. So there was one batch about 14 hours ago now, right after the 30%. And I think I did maybe about 15 out of the 30 available videos. And I've just done my second set, which was a full 30 set of Monsterwood videos. And in about 3.5 hours time, there's going to be another set. Normally what happens after that is there's a reset. So you can't watch any Monsterwood videos until the next day at the same time when Infinite Gauntlet and the daily rewards reset. Social Point is saying that you'll be provided a bunch of videos every few hours. I don't know if that means there's going to be additional videos to watch. I don't think so. But just in case there are, I would recommend watching all of your Monsterwood videos now as soon as possible. And then again in 4 hours once that cooldown happens. And after that cooldown happens, you'll get a pop-up like this. And it will say something like, you know, you have to wait another 4 hours for videos, which means there's actually additional sets, or it's going to say something like you have to wait say 10, 12, 16 hours until the next reset of videos, which means there isn't going to be another set of videos until the reset. The next question that a lot of us have is, will there be another 30% or another 20% discount? So normally at 1 day 18 hours, there's a 30% discount. We don't know if that's going to occur. And normally in the last hour of the maze, there's a 20% discount. Again, we don't know if that's going to occur. So if you want to play it super safe, you want to move during this 10% and maximize your coins just in case there is no additional discounts. If you are confident in your maze collecting skills and you can collect every 4 hours, then what I would recommend to do, and what I'm personally doing, is I'm going to hold off on moving and wait until there's either a 30% discount or a 20% discount. I think at the very least, there's likely to be a 20% discount at the very end of the maze, because if they don't do that, that's going to have a lot of angry people. And worst case scenario, if there's 0 discount, then I can still do all of my collections and get my maze monster, because the most important thing is to make sure you get your maze monster. So now we're going to jump over to MLO, and there's some announcements here that gives us more information about the maze. I'm going to skip over the change in the format of the maze for a second and come back to it. So the first thing here from George is that you can get 1,800 maze coins. Each set of 30 videos is 600 maze coins. So George is saying you can get 3 full sets in total. So that means that it's the set that's already happened, and there's the set that happens after you watch your full 30 and then 4 hours after that. This information is saying that there's only going to be 1,800. There may be more, I don't know, but at the very least we know there's 1,800 coins. Announcement here is from Marianne. So Marianne is one of the mods that does have contact with Social Point, so I think her information is very reliable. So Marianne is saying there will be no limited time path, that it isn't going to be a short version of this maze. So that's good to know. And the other thing that I'm a bit disappointed in is she's saying there is no maze coin dungeon. So because there is no maze coin dungeon, that means we miss out on a lot of extra coins there. Normally a maze coin dungeon gives you 1,000 coins. So I have a question mark there about if we don't have those 1,000 coins, how are they going to be redistributed? And the only thing that makes sense to me is if there's going to be further batches of Monsterwood videos. So after those initial 3 sets of videos, there may be more, because otherwise we're going to be missing out on maze coins, and I don't know how else they can get them to us. And the last announcement from Marianne over on MLO is here's some guidance if you're having trouble watching Monsterwood ads. So because a lot of the bonus maze coins are in Monsterwood videos now, it's really important that you get this working. Looking at the post from Marianne, this looks like it's just the generic contact support, how to contact support kind of guidance. So another thing you can do if you are on iOS and Monsterwood videos aren't working is to reset your advertising ID. So this is a post from Apple. So to reset your advertising ID on iOS, go to settings, privacy, tap advertising, and then tap reset advertising identifier. And this is all the cookies and background information that gets used by apps such as Monster Legends. And when you reset this, it can fix some problems, like when you're unable to watch Monsterwood videos, or if you're unable to do Monsterwood tasks. This can help. It doesn't always work, but it's another option if you're unable to watch your Monsterwood videos. So do that as well if you're on iOS. Okay, and now we are going to circle back to the changes in the maze. These changes are quite interesting. Let's check this out, right? Instead of a week, we've condensed the maze to 3 days, adapting balance to the new link. So if Social Point have done their job correctly, and hopefully they have, then we should be able to get the same amount of maze coins that we would normally be able to get in a week. And for that to work, they have to give us the additional 30% discount and the additional 20% discount. Otherwise, it's going to be completely unbalanced compared to the 7-day maze. So that's sort of my thinking behind why I think there will be further discounts. But again, we don't know, because sometimes Social Point messes up how they balance things, and this is the first time. So, you know, it could be subject to error. The second point is it looks like a mini maze. So I'm sure you've already seen that. So this is how it looks. It does look a lot like a mini maze. And the third point is auto collected tickets are not available. So this to me is quite interesting, because the first thing is we've been paying for these auto collected tickets in Legends Pass. So I will be surprised if we can't use them at all in the future. So I think they will make a comeback somehow. Otherwise, there might be some kind of reimbursement. What's interesting about this is it sort of indicates that this may or may not be a permanent change, because if it was a permanent change, then there should have been something around the auto maze tickets, or maybe I'm expecting too much from Social Point. But if auto collected tickets are all of a sudden redundant, there's going to be a lot of angry people. So this to me is a bit disappointing as well. So we need to find sort of workarounds. If you can't use auto collect and you want to actually have your full 8 hours of beauty sleep, what can you actually do so you can still collect as many coins as possible? The mazes used to be 7 days, and we used to have 2 mazes per month, and now we have 3-day mazes. So that means there's an additional 8 days in a 4-week cycle. So the question is, okay, now that there's going to be an additional 8 days, what is Social Point planning to do with those 8 days? Are they going to give us 2 extra mazes? Are they going to implement additional Tails event? Are they going to have an extra maze and an extra Tails event? Is there going to be a new mode altogether that's going to take 8 days? You know, there's been leaks that there's going to be a new boss mode. Is there going to be an 8-day boss mode? Social Point said previously when Team Battlegrounds was retired that they're working on a new team mode. So is there going to be an 8-day team mode? So even though Social Point is making changes to these mazes, it does open additional time. 8 days in a 28-day cycle is actually a really big chunk of time. So I'm actually looking forward to see what Social Point does here. If it's just additional mazes and additional tails, that's going to be kind of disappointing, because we already get more than enough monsters. I would love to see these 8 days being used for either a new team mode or a new boss mode. I think that would be a good way to go, and hopefully that's what Social Point has in mind, but who knows what they're doing, right? So we're going to jump back in game, and I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that I use to maximize the maze coins that I get every single maze. Monsterwood videos. Watch all the Monsterwood videos as soon as they get released. I've had times where I've said, oh, I'll go and watch the Monsterwood videos later, and I end up missing them. So in order to get all of the coins available from Monsterwood, make sure you watch them as soon as you can. Once we work out the cycle for how these Monsterwood videos work, then what you can do is the day before Monsterwood videos come out, what you want to do is to not watch Monsterwood videos and then save those Monsterwood videos, because as soon as the videos get released, then you can do your first set of videos, and 4 hours later do your second set of videos. And then after the daily reset, you can do an additional 2 sets. So previously you were able to do 4 sets of Monsterwood videos. In this maze, it seems like you can do 3 sets of Monsterwood videos. So there's a lot of useful information on Monster Legend Guide. So I'm going to take you through and explain a lot of the information there, and also show you on screen how I actually do it. In Maze Overview, 2 things that you need to know about mazes. The first thing is you do in-game activities to collect maze coins. So if you look at this help, you can get 225 coins every 4 hours. So you get 30 from collecting gold, you get 50 from collecting food, you get 30 from feeding monsters, you get 15 from PvP, 50 for breeding, and 50 for hatching. So I'll walk you through exactly how I do each of these to maximize the chances of getting 225 maze coins every 4 hours. And the second thing is, once you collect those maze coins, the way you use those maze coins is to move these monsters. So for example, I'll just do one for show. As soon as you click that used 122 of my maze coins. And the next step that I click is going to use 131 of my maze coins of my total. Also on MLG, there's a bunch of schedules, but because the maze has literally just changed this maze, I'm sure once we work out how the schedule works, there will be new versions of this. So keep posted for those. In here, there's two types of mazes. The first maze is the maze that we have right now, which previously was a 7-day maze, which has now been shortened to a 3-day maze. So this is what they call a full maze. And the second type is the mini maze. So the mini mazes are the old monsters that have already come out, and these are like additional mazes to collect more coins, whereas the full mazes are brand new monsters like the ULLRICA maze right now. Limited time path, I'm going to skip this one because we don't have an LTP in this maze and there may not be any future LTPs. So now exactly how do we collect these mazes and what's the most optimal way to do it? So the first thing you want to do is every time you finish a collection, you want to set an alarm on your phone for 4 hours. So right now in Sydney, it's 2:02 p.m. Let's pretend I finished my collection at 2:30 p.m. Then I want to set an alarm at 6:30 p.m. So when my 6:30 alarm pops off, I want to come into Monsterwood and do my next collection. In terms of how this works, the way AK explains it is there's two sort of mechanics. The first mechanic is a loading area, and the second mechanic is triggering. Think of loading as like making an order at McDonald's. I don't know how McDonald's are around the world, but in Australia, how it works now is when you go to McDonald's, you line up, you go to the counter and you make your order. I would like a Big Mac meal and an apple pie. And they ask, would you like fries with that? And you say yes. So this is similar to the loading area. When you make your order, the coins get loaded, but you don't actually get those coins yet. AK then describes triggering as the point where you do something and then the coins get released to you. This is similar to like you waiting in line in McDonald's, and then they've made your order and they say number 101 and you go to the counter and collect your food. The triggering is when you actually collect your food and collect your maze coins and get your maze coins into your basket. So there's a couple of things you want to know. Loading moves coins from the pool into the loading area. You have this pool of 225 coins. Once you load or once you make your order, then instead of 225 coins in the pool, it takes say 30 coins of that pool and there's 195 left. So you can make as many orders as you want. You can make one order at McDonald's and then line up and make another order and line up and make a third order. You can make as many orders as you want, but you don't actually collect your coins until you go and collect that food. Another point here is that the loaded coins last forever, even after the maze is over. So that's why sometimes after a maze, you might see some of your coins being triggered. And this is also why you might collect more coins than you expect. So for example, in this picture, this is actually 3 eggs that have been loaded and then 1 collection. It's like making an order for 3 sausage McMuffins and then you go and collect all 3 at the same time. So the next question you might be asking is, where is my nearest McDonald's? And then after that, how do I actually trigger or how do I actually load these coins? So each type of action has a different trigger, and these triggers are also used outside of maze coins as well, such as when you hatch an egg, the runes are decided at the same point in time. So let's go through them one by one. First one is gold. When you collect gold from habitats, you are loading. After a few seconds, when you collect another gold, you are triggering and loading if there are more coins in the gold pool. The way Social Point explains it, Social Point support will say something like, oh, it's randomized, but really it's not. So how it works is when you actually go and collect, then you are loading coins, like making an order for the maze coins, and it just takes time for it actually to pay out. So let's go do this right now. So let's zoom out. So you can see I collected 2 just then. What I normally do is go collect all, and there may or may not be a trigger. Most of the time there isn't a trigger. So after that, I go and manually. There we go. So there was a 26 coins. So the 26 coins, when it popped up, that was the triggering. And each time before that, when I was just clicking randomly and there wasn't any maze coins popping up, that was the loading. So for gold, how AK explains it is the maximum coins you can get for each habitat is 5. And the number of coins that you load is based on the percentage of gold accumulated in the habitat. So if you have 100% of the gold in that habitat, then you can get 5 coins. So if your habitat can store 1 million gold and you collect 1 million gold, then you will get the 5 coins. All of this stuff doesn't matter too much. As long as you have enough habitats, you will get your 50 coins from just collecting all. And then after that, just spam collect, single collects for your maze coins. And now that I've triggered 28 coins, what that tells me is I lost 2 coins, probably because I logged in. Or the other thing is I need to go click gold a few more times and I can get those 2 coins that I missed out on. My loading is now back to 30. So this will slowly replenish over time. So right now it's probably sitting on 0. In 4 hours, there's 240 minutes. That means 1 coin gets triggered every 8 minutes. So after 8 minutes, it will go from 0 to 1. After 16 minutes, it will go from 0 to 2. So if after 16 minutes, you go and do a collect, then you can collect 2 maze coins, for example. The next one is food. When you collect from farms, you are loading the coins. After a few seconds, when you collect another food, you are triggering. So let's go do this right now. So as soon as I click on these foods, I'm loading the coins and I'm making my order for my maze coins. And if you give it enough time, then it will also trigger. There we go. So 39. Six. So up to 45. 33. So that tells me that I had loaded previously and I hadn't collected. And that's why I got more than the 50 available. I like to do this one at the top, at the very end, because that's the one that will trigger most of the time. Because normally I collect a lot faster than I just get click, 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 click. And then I have to scroll all the way up here to collect this one. So that's why I did that one last. I'm looking at the food one. And this is interesting because this hasn't been my experience. You can see earlier when I collected all my rainbow SNOWPEAS, I did get my full 50 coins. So I'm not sure if this is accurate or maybe I'm doing something differently. So I'm going to ask AK about this one actually. So for food, there's a maximum of 50 available. 240 divided by 50 is 4.8. So every 4.8 minutes, another maze coin becomes available in the pool for food. So if I were to go in and collect after 5 minutes, I should be able to get 1 extra coin from food. Next one here is feed. When you feed a monster, you are loading the coins. After a few seconds, when you feed one more time, you are triggering. So let's go find a monster to feed. I think it's also growth spurt right now. So we can just feed until our heart's content. So as soon as I click on feed, then I'm loading my coins. I'm making my order for my maze coins. And because there's a break, once I feed here, I should be triggering some here. 18. There should be another batch. So if you want to be efficient with your food, then what you want to do is you want to wait and then start feeding again. I have a lot of food and I'm trying to increase the amount of food I fed, so I don't mind doing extra feeding. But if you're low on food, then you want to sort of wait in between. There we go, 12. So 12 and 18 is 30 and that's the maximum. I'm just going to feed some more and see if anything happens. Because I need to feed for growth spurt anyway. Alright, so it looks like I've drained my pool. So for feeding monsters, it's 30 coins. Similar to the gold, every 8 minutes, an extra coin will be replenished in your pool for feeding monsters. Next one here is hatching. When you move a monster from breeding tree into hatchery, that's loading. And AK is pointing out that it doesn't work when you hatch a monster from storage or purchase eggs from the shop. So it has to be a monster that you've actually bred. So let's go hatch something that we have bred. So all 3 of these eggs that are sitting here, I have bred those. So I may have loaded some previously. So let's see how many we actually trigger here. I didn't see any triggering there. I didn't see any triggering there. 673. 673. So I didn't see any triggering there either. So I'm a little bit confused. One or two things happened. Either it triggered and I just didn't see it on screen. Or the second thing is it's loaded and it'll trigger later on. Either way, I don't mind. And both breeding and hatching are 50 coins. So similar to the food collecting, you will get 1 extra maze coin every 4.8 minutes. The next one is breeding. When you breed a monster, this action loads and triggers at the same time. So let's go finish a breed here. Still no maze coins. There's 50 for my breed. And while we're on breeding, there's a few options here. So the safest option is to breed a Thunder Eagle. So 2 Thunders, common, legendary, mythic, will breed a Thunder Eagle. So that's the most reliable one. I like to breed for Pterodactyl because that also helps me in my race prep. But the main thing you want to notice is if you don't have an egg hatching in the next 4 hours, then you do want to breed something fast. So in my example, I'm breeding a Pterodactyl and this is going to finish in 40 minutes, which is fine. I'm going to breed for another Lupo here. An example of what you don't want to do is you don't want to be breeding a legendary here and a legendary here, because what that means is it's going to take 9 hours and 9 hours, and that means you're going to miss your next 4-hour maze coin collection because you don't have a monster to put onto your hatchery. The other thing you want to make sure of is when the 4-hour timer is up, make sure you have a space on your hatchery so that you can transfer your breeding onto your hatchery straight away. Otherwise, you're also going to lose maze coins. This paragraph here gives a good explanation and some examples. So if your breed time is greater or equal to 3 hours, you'll get 50 coins. Thunder Eagle takes 4 hours, so anything that's 3 hours or above will get you 50 coins, and this is without the breeding guardian. If it's 2.5 hours, you get 41 coins, 2 hours 33 coins, etc, etc. And the last one is PvP. So when you win PvP, the key thing here is win. You have to win your PvP, then this will load and trigger your maze coins at the same time. So let's go win a PvP. I've been using Vampira a lot more, and I'm running 3 strength on her. She's 148, being ranked up to 150 right now. So this will trigger 15 right here. There we go, 15 maze coins from PvP. If you are short on coins and you need just like, you know, that 25 extra or that 50 coins extra, what you can do is you can do respins. So respins are available if there's nothing on that node or if it's an attacking node like this one coming up. So I'll show you this one just as an example. So you have to beat them up first. And then it comes up with a wheel, and previously there were a lot more respins available, but in these mazes there's a lot less. So what you want to do is, if you're on a phone, it's a bit easier. I'm doing this on my computer, so I can't spin it as well as I normally would. So we may get the coins, we may not, but I just want to show you the mechanics of spending gems to get these 25 coins if you need just that little bit extra. So this will land whatever it gets. So this was 5k. So if I wanted to, what I can do is I can change the reward and respin again. So let's do that as an example. It does cost 1 gem each. And there you go. The wheel resets and I can spin again. And I can keep doing that over and over and over until I get 25. So if I'm on my phone, what I do is I go either 3 or 4 out. And I basically practice spinning by spinning with my finger a certain amount of pressure. And if you practice it enough, you can actually decrease the number of gems you need to spend per respin. But on my computer, I'm absolutely hopeless at this, so we're just going to spin and see what we get. There we go. So one on this side, we just missed, but that's all right. I just remembered my PvP is finished and it's 2:33. So I think my PvP finished around 2:30. So I'm going to set my alarm for 6:30 so I can come back and do another collection. The other thing to note in mazes is you can lose coins. There's this weird thing about mazes that MLG calls the lost coin phenomenon. And how this works is each time you log in between those 4-hour blocks, for whatever reason, you actually lose coins that are available. So instead of 225, you log in one, all of a sudden you're down to somewhere between 220 and 224 coins available. So each time you're logging in, you can actually be losing coins. The only workaround that I found for this is logging in with different devices. So if, for example, you log in on your Apple device and later on log into your Android device, then what seems to happen for me, but it's unverified, I seem to be able to get those coins back that were previously lost. So this post is quite an interesting one. So this explains why you may not get your 225 coins every 4 hours. So what's recommended here is to log in, do all of your stuff, stay logged in, and then do your next collection and then log out. The other really reliable way to get maze coins, and again, I don't know if this is going to happen because of the change from 7 days to 3 days, but there is a leak for a spawny breeding event. And how this works is when you breed for spawny, if you get spawny, then you get 250 maze coins. And if you don't get spawny, then you get 75 maze coins. So this is a really good way to top up the number of maze coins you have. And if you are on the borderline, then what you want to do with your gems is use some of the gems to do respins on the wheel. That's actually the most efficient way. And secondly, do some extra breeding here. Make sure your hatchery is empty before the breeding event happens, and then do a whole bunch of breeding attempts. So I'm going to keep my blue stacks logged in so I don't lose maze coins. So what I do personally to get up to about 5.5 or just under 6 collections free to play without using any maze coins is I share my account with Barab. So my recommendation, if you want to get an extra collection and keep your sleep, is to have a friend and work together on your maze collections. So for us, there's a 5.5 hour difference between our time zones. So I do one collection just before I go to bed, and then Barab does a collection on both our accounts while I'm sleeping. So that's my sleeping collection. And as soon as I wake up, I do a collection on both accounts. So that covers off his sleeping. So that way, if the timing works out perfectly, we do get a full 6 collections, and worst case, it might be say 5.5 collections if we miss an hour or 2. Only do this if you have a teammate or a friend that you do trust, because once they do have access, they either have access to your Facebook account or your Google account. The best case is if one of those is unlinked right now, link it up to like say an empty Facebook or an empty Google account, because then that makes it easier for you to share and you're not risking them sort of like doing funny business on either your Facebook or your Google account. And there goes my 6:30 alarm. So it's time to do another collection. All right, let's do gold first. So I do collect all and then I start doing single collect. There's our full 30. Oh, there's nothing to hatch. That's a problem. So we're going to miss out on some coins because we don't have anything to hatch here. We should get some from the breeding. So there's our 50 from breeding. And then I go feed. I think we had a Dragonian beast from earlier. So let's go find that guy. I've got a friend too. There's our 30. And let's collect some of these as well. There's 3. And there's 39. So that was 39 plus 3 is 42. That Black Lotus thing might actually be important. So I'm going to start breeding some Black Lotus. I'll keep testing this out, but my lesson here is to keep at least 1 or 2 breeding Black Lotus. And if you're short on gold, you just have to be careful and do this only during maze. Cool, we have one of these, so we can test it out. So if we get extra coins here from the speeder, then it means I do actually need to breed Black Lotus. Did it trigger? Okay, it did trigger. So it looks like this food is actually accurate. So what this means is that during the maze, you want 1 farm doing a Black Lotus route, or 2 doing Winged Angels, or 4 doing Garden Rocket. I've got 14 food farm. 14 times 3 is 42. So if you only do 14 Rainbow SNOWPEAS, you're going to be missing out on 8 coins every collection. So if you are low on gold, what I recommend is to do 13 Rainbow SNOWPEAS and 1 Garden Rocket. Good thing I made this video. I taught myself something here. And the last thing we'll do is we'll do a PvP. There's my 15 coin. And my Monsterwood videos have refreshed, so I'm going to do all of those as well. Okay, so it says 16 hours, so this looks like it is the last batch of videos for now. I don't know if at reset there will be more Monsterwood videos with maze coins. There probably won't, but we never know. Now let's look at a few different scenarios so you can get a feel of how many coins you're going to get. Look at the best case scenario first. So if you're able to do 6 collections a day and you can do 3 full sets of Monsterwood videos, you will end up with about 7,144 maze coins. So looking at that compared to this table, even absolute worst case scenario and you move at 0%, then you're still going to be 2,000 coins ahead. So that's really good. 6 collections a day and 2 Monsterwood videos, you will end up with about 6,500 coins. 1 set of Monsterwood videos, about 5,900 coins. And if you're unable to watch Monsterwood at all, you will still end up with 5,300 coins, which is still plenty even if you move at 0%. But this is assuming you're doing 6 collections. So 5 collections a day, which is doable. So 5 collections a day and 3 sets of Monsterwood videos, 6,250 coins. 2 sets of Monsterwood videos, about 5,650, which is still plenty if even at 0%. 1 set of Monsterwood videos, 5,053. You do need a 10% discount for it to work. And 0 Monsterwood videos, if you don't have access, you're going to end up with 4,453. So here you're banking on there being a 20% discount at the end of the maze. So if you're unable to watch Monsterwood videos, my recommendation is to make sure you do at least 5 collections a day. Looking at 4 collections a day now, if you manage to get all of the Monsterwood video coins, then you will have 5,300 coins, which is okay for 0%. 2 sets of Monsterwood videos, you're down to 4,763. So you are banking on a 10% discount here. If you missed the first batch of Monsterwood videos and you're only doing 4 collections a day, then I recommend you move during the 10%. 1 Monsterwood videos, 4,163. You're going to need to rely on a 20% discount here. If you're doing 4 collections a day and you can't watch Monsterwood, it's going to be pretty tight. You're going to end up with about 3,500 coins. And this 30% discount assumes you can get all the coins at 30% discount. So honestly, you're not going to make it because you're not going to have all of your coins at 30% discount. It's going to be best case, some at 30% and some at 20%. So if you are doing 4 collections a day, unfortunately, you're not going to get a monster here. Let me know what you think of these 3-day mazes and when you're planning to move. Are you going to move during this 10% or are you going to gamble and hopefully there's going to be a 30% discount or a 20% discount later on and then move then? It's all new to us. It's all unknown. So the most important thing is to just make sure you get the maze monster. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, I'll be super grateful if you can share this with your friends and help the Wubby Gaming YouTube channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out one of these 2 videos over here. And if you think Wubby Gaming videos will help one of your friends grow, make sure to share with them as well. And I will see you next time.